Hola, pasa? Welcome to Monday and welcome to another week. It's Monday. My phone's hopping. It's Monday evening. I'm in the office. I've been here all day. Well, went for a coffee this morning. Did a bit of work in a coffee shop. But today has been really just setting up the week, the month, and the rest of the year as well. So over the last couple of weeks, I've been kind of thinking about second half of the year goals. Why is that still beeping? Q3 goals, July goals, just breaking it all down, going back to my yearly goals and making sure that everything lines up and matches. That's what I do on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, 6 monthly basis every year. And I have been doing that for probably 7-ish years now. I seem to transfer things from month to month, but they do eventually get done, and it is a good way, especially for someone like me who has a head like a sieve, to keep on track. So what's happening this week? This morning I was working on tweaking the Coffee&Kimuras signature gi design. So the sample gi that I've shown you in recent videos, it's almost there. So I was making some tweaks this morning, creating a white variant of it as well. The reason that I designed it in black originally is because I essentially wear black gis all the time. I just rather black. I don't know why. It's easier to keep clean, less blood stains, all that stuff. But obviously if we're going to be releasing it, I'm going to be releasing it in black and white. We'll see about blue. I'm not sure. It comes down to kind of quantities and what I think is going to sell. So we'll probably go with black and white first. And if it goes well, if let me know. If you want a blue gi, let me know. We'll see. I think the colour scheme's going to work a bit better just with black and white. That's what we've been doing kind of all the way through, is black, white with some browns thrown in. So that's what we're sticking with. We might do like a beige brown gi. We'll see if the reaction's good. Anyway, so that order is gone in for a revamped sample. I just want to make sure it's right first. So when we get that revamped sample in the next it'll probably be late August now at this stage, get it, test it, make sure that everything's okay with it, go with that, see, get sizing and hopefully have gis before the end of this year. That's the goal anyway. That's part of my goals for the second half of the year, is to have gis in production. What changes did I make to it? The main issue that I had with the sample was the lining on the inside. It made it a little bit heavy and it was quite sweaty to wear. Especially we had team training a couple of weeks ago. Our gym is essentially a big warehouse, so it becomes a big oven on a warm day when there's a lot of people training, there's a lot of people on the mat. So wearing it that day was a real test for it and was a struggle. I had to sit out a couple of rounds because I just simply couldn't cope with the level of heat wearing that gi. I just wanted to take some of that lining out, so we've minimised it, gone back to just lining on the kind of upper back shoulder area. We'll test that. Hopefully it's a little bit cooler, a little bit nicer to wear, see how it turns out in white as well. Might make some tweaks to the colouring of the threads. There was a couple of things about, I think I mentioned it when I was going through the gi, when I was showing it in one of the previous episodes. The thread colour was a little bit too light. I wanted a darker grey thread, so we'll be going with that on the black. And then I'm not sure, I think I'm going to go with black thread on white. I might go with like a light grey instead to kind of blend in a similar style. We'll see how it looks when it comes. What other changes did we make? So the patch that was on the pants, instead of that being embroidered directly onto the pants, we're going to do a printed patch sewn on. So there's less kind of rigidity that the embroidery forces into the structure of the pant. There's a lot of detail in it, and the embroidery just wasn't picking that up either, so I think a printed patch sewn on will look better. If it doesn't look great, we'll just get rid of it. I just want to see how that looks first, so that's what we're going to go with in the sample. Also, we've put in an order today for restock again, the Americano rash guard hybrid shorts and the flat white rash guard and hybrid shorts, which have absolutely flown out since they released in May. So really happy with those. They only released 6 weeks ago or whatever, and we're having to restock already. So yeah, that's unprecedented for us. Shows that the brand's growing, shows that the designs we're producing are what people are looking for, which I'm very happy with. I have an idea in mind for kind of a couple of other ranges, and I'm thinking maybe do we go a little bit more kind of bright and bold with the colour scheme, or do we keep it kind of reserved? What we've been doing has been working. The flat white was a little bit of a push out in terms of the colour scheme and the design, although it's still quite muted and plain. It's quite different to what we've been doing before. So yeah, I think I'm going to push the boat out in the next one. I think it could be quite cool. I'm not sure if the name of the range and the specific type of coffee that it might be named after is as popular as others, but I think the colour scheme of the range could look really cool, and especially as an Irish company, could be even better. So there's a hint. Yeah, we lined up a couple of client calls today as well. So we have an interesting strategy call with a jewellery brand that we worked with in the past. We developed a website for them recently. They're what's the word? I'm going to actually look it up. Diamond simulants. There you go. Synthetic diamonds. Yeah, we're going to speak to those about a strategy in general, specifically around obviously pushing the B2C end, but also around B2B as well and trying to grow that side of our business too. And then later this week on Friday, we're interviewing a guy for a position. The first interview of a series of interviews with the aim to building out a team in the new office. For now, I have to go get changed and go to training. See you tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to change the LED colour. We'll go with green. Hola, pasa? Wednesday morning. I usually film my morning clips after I finish my morning work block. 8, half 8, sometimes halfway through at like half 7. But I rarely film it beforehand. Usually what I do is get up between 6, half 6 and then start work between half 6, 7. Get a morning work block out of the way before the day kicks off. This morning, it's about 6:30. I'm just about to start my morning work block. But before I do, I'm going to have some coffee. And then I'm going to repackage these and send them out. Well, I'm not going to send them out. I'm going to box them up and I'm going to send them out later on. What these are Marcelo Cohen's rash guard. I showed you the design before for combat jiu-jitsu on UFC Fight Pass, which has turned out quite cool based on the Americano range, obviously. So we have the rash guard. We have 5 t-shirts from Marcelo and his corner team. And a pair of shorts as well. That plastic's very noisy, so I'm going to open it all up first. I'll be back in a sec. Alright, I'm back. The rash guards and the t-shirts are essentially identical. The only difference is the rash guard, based on the Americano rash guard, this lighting's terrible, has the coffee bean print on the torso of the rash guard and not on the sleeves. And the t-shirt is reversed, so no print on the torso, coffee bean print on the sleeves. That is the design that we went with, so there's a consistency and a difference. What we're going to do is now get our packing bags. Our suppliers, when we order a bulk order, pack them in our packing bags for us. Usually it's a sample order, it's us testing the product, so it doesn't matter what the package comes in. For something like this, just for Marcelo, I'm just going to repackage them, put them in nice packaging and send them off to him. Combat Jiu-Jitsu is in like 3 weeks, so he's going to be able to break them in, wear them a little bit and make sure everything's okay before the event. I'm going to package these now and box them up. My sincerest apologies, I just realised I forgot to show you the shorts. Hybrid shorts based on the Americano range again and covering in Marcelo's sponsors. And then on the left leg, his own logo. Yeah, so they're based on the Americano range, but with an added stripe. And yeah, I think they're quite cool. Could be a potential adjustment on the Americano range that we release in future. Let me know what you think of the stripe on the leg. It's more like it's like a combination of the hybrid and the Valutudo shorts in the Americano range. I think they're cool. All right, back to packing. Alright, that's the packing done. Now I have to print out a few labels just to put on the packages so the guys know what's what. And yeah, then I'm going to go about my day. Before I do that, quick update on what's been going on. Yesterday I was in the hospital. I trained Monday night and my finger went again. So a few weeks ago I had the competition in Uri. I don't know why I'm holding a little blade in my hand. That evening my finger swelled up, the middle finger of my right hand. Remember that now? Yeah, you do. The middle finger on my right hand started to swell up a little, just restricted my movement a little bit, wasn't really sore, whatever. Give it a few days off. My knee was a bit sore after competition as well, so I took a few days off training, that was fine. Been back training, I was taping it up for a while. I stopped taping it up then, and then the last couple of sessions, well pretty much every session for the last 3 weeks, it's got caught or got like a stinger at the top of the finger and it was sending a serious shooting pain up my arm. It was very, very sore. I was wondering if it was maybe dislocated, there was a hairline fracture or something. Kept going, kept training. Monday night it went again and it was agony. I was like, right, I have to get something done about this. So I went for an x-ray yesterday morning. Turns out it's not broke, it's not dislocated. It might have been dislocated at some stage, but it's back in place now. But I probably have ligament damage because it's still very, very swollen and still a bit tender. It's not broken, it's not dislocated, so I don't really care. Even in the hospital they said, I don't expect you to stop training, just tape it up and keep going. So that's the update on that. Yesterday I was working on something that I teased last week about the ZOMA office. In the ZOMA office, I was working on that again yesterday. Yeah, it's going to take a long time to finish this, but I think it's going to be so cool. I think it's going to look class. So going to keep going with that. By the end of next week, I'd say we'll be fitted out and ready to go. I would say Monday week we'll be in the office, functional and working and operating. I can't wait. It's been a long time coming. I mentioned last week about the Seek Festival. So this week that's happening. Richie was out filming yesterday, well, the last couple of days. Today I'm going to go over there, I'm going to sit at the laptop, print out these labels, and then a couple of client calls today. Keep working on that project for the office within the office. A couple other little bits and pieces. And that's it really. Oh yeah, by the way, it is Wednesday. Again, I didn't film on Tuesday. I think that's like 3 weeks in a row I haven't filmed on Tuesday. Anyway, yesterday was the 4th of July, so any Americans watching, happy 4th of July. Right, I'm waffling now. I'm going to go do some work. Will I talk to you later on? Maybe. Training tonight again, by the way. Even with this dodgy finger. Right, I need a box for this Hola, pasa. Welcome to Thursday morning. I'm in the office and I'm full of energy, but today is a sad day. Today is the day that I've decided we're going to discontinue the signature roast. We won't be restocking it. I'm considering going a different direction with the coffee. It is honestly, obviously I'm biased. I'm not going to deny that, but it is honestly one of, if not the nicest coffee I've ever tasted. Why am I discontinuing it then? Coffee's just so competitive. Since I started the brand in 2018, since I came up with the idea for the brand, probably before that, 2017, what I wanted to do was essentially to get my own coffee roasted. I've done that now. It's a slug. It's a slug to sell coffee, especially when coffee isn't your primary product offering. Obviously, with the brand and the genesis of the brand and just the name of the brand and what it is, coffee was something that obviously I wanted to do, and that was the goal, but it's something I kind of had to do. Not that I was forced into it. The process of tasting and developing the coffee was so enjoyable. The guys we worked with to develop the coffee were great. If coffee was our only business, we'd go into wholesale, and I was considering it for a little while, but to get to the unit cost needed to be able to make it worth it at wholesale, we just would have had to ramp up quantities. But that capital that we'd use for that is better invested into fightwear. The margins we get on those products are much higher, as well as there's no life cycle really. Like obviously there's an end date on coffee, there's a best before date, let's say. It's not exactly vegetables or fresh fruit or anything like that, but there is still a limited life cycle on it. It was a fun process, and I still drink it every morning. Just finished another cup of it. I'll probably hold a couple of bags back just for myself that I can keep drinking it for the next little while, but it's the end of the signature roast. It's a sad day. Look, there's still a bit of stock left. There is a limited stock. I do have an idea for a different direction I'd like to go, and I've opened discussions with a couple of people about that, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. We'll see. I'm not going to say too much. I think there's a different angle we could go that's a bit more applicable to jiu-jitsu and an active lifestyle. This is something that I've been considering and mulling over for a while, so to kind of just make the decision is, yeah, I'm kind of happy just to get it done and move on and try and develop the next phase of the brand. That all is not to say that we won't get back into doing regular coffee in future. That's the main news today. Yesterday we finalised the interior graphics for the new office. Well, we're going to price those up first, make sure that it's viable. We want to just make sure that the office is decked out and decorated and visually as impactful as possible and as enjoyable to be in and work in as possible, and to visit from a client point of view. So that's the update on the business side. On the jiu-jitsu side, I trained last night, and I think I'm going to take at least 10 days off training, a week and a half or so, just to let this finger heal up a little bit. Gonna go get ready and go about my day. See you later. Hola, que pasa? Friday evening, welcome to the office. I'm wearing a custom Coffee&Kimuras sweater that we made for Decky McLean. Don't know what fight it was, one of his Cage Warriors fights. Anyway, we made some custom tracksuits for him over a couple of fights. Got a couple made for myself because why not? It's Friday evening. What's happening this week? What has happened this week? So yesterday, obviously, I made the decision to discontinue the Coffee&Kimuras signature roast. This morning, we interviewed a guy for a role within ZOMA as we expand the team. We had a discovery call with a potential client. Well, he's not a potential client, he is actually a client. So a discovery call, just introducing him to the back end of Shopify and showing him how it's going to work and how it's going to improve his business from an online, digital and in-person POS point of view, and having one seamless system. So as an agency with ZOMA or a Shopify partner, I do think it's the best for most e-commerce stores. There are certain circumstances where we'd recommend other platforms. We use Wix, we're a Wix partner for most brochure sites. Pretty much anything except e-commerce we'll use Wix for, but there are some kind of smaller e-commerce sites with smaller product offerings that we will work it for. All good in the hood. In the office, paint has been progressing. Friday evening next week, everything will be 99% done, hopefully. Touch wood. We're nearly there. Oh my god, we're nearly there. That's the update. That's what's happened this week. I'm not training tonight, I'm not training tomorrow, I'm not training next week. I'm taking time off of this finger. I've ordered Penguin Fingers. So Penguin Fingers are a mutual sponsor of Marcelo Cohn. I don't know if I spoke about this yesterday, but I'm going to speak about it now. I'll cut it out if I did. Penguin Fingers are a mutual sponsor of Marcelo Cohn along with Coffee&Kimuras, and they provide, what they do is little ice packs, little finger ice packs. If you've ever tried icing your finger, it's a f***ing nightmare. If you have an ice pack, it gets frozen, you can't bend it around your finger. Then you have to use like a bag of vegetables, or the other night I was using an almost empty bag of frozen chips. So wrapping that around your finger and getting it tight enough so that your finger actually gets cold enough to be worth icing, but then there's like chips digging into your finger, so yeah, nightmare. Anyway, so I've ordered a couple of those. They're going to be here next week, so hopefully that'll speed up the recovery a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to take a week off, see how it is, give a little bit of time to rest, because movement's kind of gone again because I was an idiot training this week. See you later, have a good weekend, have a good week, be good to yourselves. La 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 la. Hola, pasa? How's my hair? It's Monday. My phone's hopping. Alright, I'm gonna do. What's the word? Oh my god, what am I trying to say? Breathe, Chris. Breathe. Breathe again.